Welcome to BYDFi. I'm Elisa, your guide for this Bitcoin course video series. Together, we'll explore a variety of topics, including Bitcoin mining, wallets, trading, and much more. Today, we'll start from the basics by answering one of Google's most searched questions. What is Bitcoin? If you're concerned about complex terminology, don't be. At BYDFi.com, we simplify Bitcoin into straightforward language, so even without a technical background, you'll grasp everything easily. By the end of this course, you'll understand Bitcoin and its workings better than 99% of the population. Let's dive in. Before we discuss Bitcoin, let's take a moment to consider money. What exactly is money? At its essence, money represents value. When I provide a service, you compensate me with money for the value I offered. I can then use that money to obtain something valuable from someone else later. Historically, value has manifested in various forms, and people have used many materials as money: salt, wheat, shells, and of course, gold. For something to symbolize value, people must trust that it is indeed valuable and will remain so long enough for them to redeem it in the future. Until about 100 years ago, we relied on physical items to represent money. However, things changed, and we shifted our trust model from trusting physical objects to trusting institutions. Let me explain. As people found it impractical to carry gold bars or other forms of money, paper money was created. Here's how it worked. A bank or government would hold your gold, worth, say, $1,000, and in exchange, you would receive paper receipts, bills, totaling that amount. These paper notes were much easier to carry, allowing you to buy a cup of coffee without slicing a gold bar into 1,000 pieces. If you wanted your gold back, you simply returned the $1,000 in bills to the bank. Thus, paper money emerged as a practical and convenient form of currency. However, over time and due to macroeconomic shifts, the link between paper money and gold was severed. Governments informed citizens that the state itself would guarantee the value of that paper currency. Essentially, we agreed to trade paper instead of gold. Why did this system endure? Because of trust. Even without a tangible commodity backing paper money, people believed in the government, leading to the creation of fiat money. Fiat is a Latin term meaning by decree, indicating that currencies like dollars or euros hold value because the government declares it so. This is known as legal tender, coins or notes that must be accepted when offered as payment. Thus, today's money derives its value from the legal status conferred by a central authority, specifically the government. Consequently, our trust model has transitioned from relying on physical items to depending on institutions. Fiat money has two primary drawbacks. First, centralization. A single authority issues and controls it, typically the government or central bank. Second, unlimited supply. Governments or central banks can print money at will, increasing the money supply. The issue with printing money is that flooding the market diminishes each dollar's value, leading to decreased purchasing power. Rising prices over the years are often a result of money losing value, not necessarily that goods are becoming more expensive. Once fiat money was established, moving to digital forms of currency was straightforward. With a central authority already managing money, it made sense to digitize it while allowing that authority to track ownership. Nowadays, we primarily use credit cards, wire transfers, and services like PayPal, with physical cash diminishing yearly. But how does digital money work? If I possess a file representing $1, what prevents me from duplicating it endlessly? This is known as the double spend problem. Currently, banks resolve this issue with a centralized ledger, keeping track of who owns what through their computers. We all trust the bank, and they trust their systems, so the solution remains centralized. Interestingly, there have been numerous attempts to create alternative digital currencies, but none successfully addressed the double spend problem without a central authority. Handing control of the money supply to someone grants them immense power, leading to three major issues. First, corruption. Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power often leads to corruption. Banks controlling money can manipulate value, leading to scandals like the Wells Fargo incident, where employees secretly opened millions of unauthorized accounts to inflate revenue without customers knowing. Second, mismanagement. If a central authority's interests diverge from those it governs, mismanagement can occur. For instance, excessive money printing to save failing banks during the 2008 crisis led to inflation, eroding citizens' wealth. An extreme case is Venezuela, where rampant money printing has caused such devaluation that people now weigh their cash instead of counting it. Third, loss of control. You essentially relinquish control of your money to banks or governments. They can freeze your account or deny access to your funds at any time. Even cash can lose its legal tender status, as seen in India's demonetization. This was the situation until 2009, when creating an alternative monetary system seemed hopeless. Then, everything changed. In October 2008, a document was published online by someone using the name Satoshi Nakamoto. This document, known as a white paper, proposed a decentralized currency system called Bitcoin. It claimed to create digital money that solves the double spend problem without a central authority. At its core, Bitcoin is a transparent ledger maintained without a central entity. But what does that really mean? Let's compare it to traditional banks. Most of today's money is digital, with banks managing their own ledgers of transactions and balances. However, these ledgers are opaque and stored on bank servers. Only the bank has full access and control. In contrast, Bitcoin operates on a transparent ledger accessible to anyone. You can view all transactions and balances, although the identities behind them remain anonymous. This means Bitcoin is pseudo-anonymous, everything is visible and traceable, but the participants' identities are concealed. To illustrate, consider a specific Bitcoin transaction from May 2010, where a Bitcoin address sent 10,000 Bitcoins to another address. This was the first ever purchase made with Bitcoin, 2 pizzas, bought by a man named Laszlo. Today, those pizzas would be worth over $100 million. Bitcoin is also decentralized, there's no single computer holding the ledger. Every computer in the network maintains a copy of the ledger, known as the blockchain. To disrupt the system or hack the ledger, one would need to compromise thousands of computers, all updating the same information. Like most modern currencies, Bitcoin is purely digital. There are no physical coins, only records of transactions and balances. When you own Bitcoin, it means you have the right to access a specific address in the ledger and transfer funds to another address. So what does all of this imply? Why is Bitcoin generating so much buzz? For the first time since the advent of digital money, we have an alternative to the existing system. Bitcoin represents a form of currency that no government or bank can control. Consider the pre-internet era, when information flow was highly centralized. To access information, you relied on a few major outlets like the New York Times or the Washington Post. Today, thanks to the internet, information is decentralized, enabling global communication and knowledge sharing at our fingertips. Bitcoin is the Internet of Money, offering a decentralized financial solution. It provides several advantages over the current system. First, complete control. With Bitcoin, you solely manage your funds. No government or bank can freeze your account or seize your assets. Second, reduced costs. Bitcoin minimizes intermediaries in money transfers, often making it cheaper than traditional methods like wire transfers or money orders. Third, digital by design. Unlike fiat currencies, Bitcoin was inherently designed as digital, allowing for additional programming layers, turning it into smart money. We will discuss this further in upcoming videos. Fourth, financial inclusion. Bitcoin opens digital commerce to 2.5 billion people worldwide who lack access to traditional banking systems. With just a mobile phone, they can start trading using Bitcoin without needing permission. Today, many merchants accept Bitcoin, enabling purchases like flights or hotel bookings. There are even Bitcoin debit cards that allow you to spend your Bitcoin balance at nearly any store. However, widespread public acceptance is still a work in progress. In this video series, we will thoroughly explore how Bitcoin operates and how to use it. We will cover topics like Bitcoin mining, wallets, purchasing Bitcoins, and more. The money revolution began in 2009, and we're witnessing a transformation in how we understand money. If you have questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. If you're watching this on YouTube and enjoyed the content, please hit the like button and subscribe for updates on new episodes. Thank you for joining me on the Bitcoin courses of BYDFi. I'm Elisa, and I will see you soon.